The Wealthy Life is brought to you by investment dealer Raymond James. Life well planned. See what a Raymond James advisor can do for you.
Welcome back. With us today is Rob Pollard and Chen, a wealth management team that specializes in working with medical professionals. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Great to have you here because this topic is one that I hear a lot. People want to know what's the benefits of incorporating and how can I make more money and save taxes? And I think we're going to cover a lot of that ground. Before we get there, I want to know, how did you two meet?
Well, Sybil, we met about 30 years ago. Wilson was at dental school at the time at University of Western Ontario, and I happened to be teaching him a program, and he was very impressive, so he ended up teaching with me for many years.
So you're both in the health industry, and now you're in the financial services industry.
Absolutely right, yeah. And after I graduated from dentistry, Rob and I kept in touch. We stayed good friends. And early in my career, I did have an injury that we thought was maybe perhaps going to limit my career. And Rob at the time suggested that I go into the financial planning stream. And so that's how we kept in touch over the years.
Great. So you would understand better than anyone some of the issues that dentists face, which one of the big issues must be, what if you can't work anymore?
That's exactly right. And that's one of the huge issues, is that you always worry that because you are the person running this office, running this small business, if you can't work, what are your staff going to do? How are you going to prepare for your life as well as the life of your business? Something else as well is you start thinking about disability insurance, office overhead insurance, and any contingency plans. How do you get someone to transition your practice?
You got to plan for the unexpected, and I think not everybody is good at doing that.
It's a lot of work. The reality is most of the dentists and doctors that come out of there are highly trained on the health side, but not necessarily on the business side.
So do you find you've got just a natural fit with working with other medical professionals because of your background? I
think we do have a big advantage there. Certainly with Wilson having been through growing an office, building an office, the health risk, the health scare that he had, and then eventually selling his practice, he's been through the whole life of a dentist. And so certainly.
You know, so many business owners, regardless of what profession they're in, they might be really good at what it is they do, their craft or their trade, but they may not be good at running the business or looking at it from an operational perspective.
You don't get a lot of training in that. They're focused on what they do, and then but when they come out into the real world and have to set up an office, set up a practice,
set up a corporation,
you really start to think, I have to hire and train staff, I have to go through legal contracts and so on and so forth.
But they all have really nice teeth, right?
And they do, and they all floss.
Oh, good. Every day?
Every day.
Okay. Something we all need to work on.
But yeah, so the important thing, where we really can help them, is with that professional corporation, setting up the corporation correctly. And there are certain points, wouldn't you say, that you have to address?
Absolutely. So, and this you would do in conjunction with your legal team as well as your accountant. But there are different classes of shares that you can have inside a professional corporation. The difference between a professional corporation and a regular corporation is merely a professional corporation has rules and regulations on top of a general corporation.
So would that be for people like dentists, lawyers?
Absolutely. Yes. Dentists, lawyers, accountants, engineers, physicians, chiropractors.
Okay, so there's some slight differences there. What are some of the big advantages, though, of incorporating?
The first one would be the tax rate on a small business corporation is much less than a personal rate.
Okay.
Income splitting as an opportunity with family, your spouse, your parents as shareholders.
And everyone likes to reduce their taxes.
Yes,
It puts more money in your pocket. But I think a lot of people get confused and they think that the business owner then is paying less taxes. And that's not really the case.
And that's not true. It's just at the corporate level. But if they want to bring that down to the personal level, they would have to pay another layer of taxes. But that gets them inside the corporation with a corporate structure. They can actually use that money, pay a little bit less corporate tax, and use that money to grow their business, to get new technology, to expand, to hire staff, to to really expand their practices.
Yeah.
Great. And hiring more staff is great for the economy too.
Absolutely.
So it's a win-win all the way
Well,
around.
Or even offer their staff more benefits, more of the healthcare spending account
Yeah, so
you can do.
on
There's
the-
a number of points that you can really benefit by incorporating not just a professional corporation, but any corporation.
So if you're bringing in this income into your corporation and you're paying a lower tax rate, so you've got more money left there to spend on things, but you can't pull it out for your own personal use, otherwise you're going to pay tax again.
Right.
So what are some of the things, though, that you can spend that money on that benefit everyone, but still are taking advantage of that lower tax rate?
Anytime that you have money in that corporation, you can actually use it to cover business debt. So if you decide to buy a business, if you decide to buy a building that houses your business, if you decide to upgrade your practice, buy new technology and so on, that can all be used to spend corporate dollars to do that. And there's a lot of people that hold insurance policies, life insurance policies inside the corporation,
Right.
in order for succession planning and so on and so forth.
Which is fantastic. So it leaves a lot more money to be spent on the things that are needed,
Yes.
so that you only pull out what you need for your other personal expenses.
Right.
What about capital gains exception?
Bingo, that's a big one. At the end of the person's career, they go to sell their business, and just you want to reap the reward of that. And you have the small business capital gains exemption that you're allowed to have, which is in the neighborhood.
Which is in the neighborhood of about $824,000 right now.
Wow.
And
Yes.
with that, because a lot of people don't realize that with a small business owner, they don't have a business or a corporate pension plan. They do rely on that money sometimes for their retirement. And so this is one way that the government allows small business owners to reap that benefit for their retirement.
Well, that's great. There's way more to cover than we're going to go through today.
Yeah.
But a few takeaways are to work with a professional, do some planning, take advantage of some tax breaks.
Yes.
Thank you both so much for being on the show today.
No,
Super,
thank you.
And when we return, find out if you're getting the best bang for your buck when it comes to financial returns.